Okay, now we're live. Ooh.
Just in time for your
Just in time for a little
full
Coca-Cola.
full sugar soda. How can you drink that stuff?
How can I drink a Coca-Cola, one of the most iconic American beverages sold worldwide?
It'll take rust off a battery, that thing.
But a lot of things will take rust off a battery. What do you mean?
You don't drink them, though. You shouldn't drink them.
They don't sit in your stomach. You don't soak your stomach in the Coke.
You still shouldn't
until it rusts away. Or
Hey, have you started
the
sending these out yet?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wait,
Why?
how many?
I've sent out like 15, I think.
How many you got to send out?
The
bathwater.
Well, I sold two more.
boys'
Two people
bathwater.
came to me privately to buy them privately after seeing them on the show. They wanted the bathwater.
How much you charge for this shit?
I've told them, just tell me what you want to pay. I'm not gonna.
2 cents.
I said $30, and the guy said
$30
what Well,
bucks?
yeah, and then the guy said, "What the fuck? I'm gonna pay $30 for that."
$30 for this shit?
Dude, I had to custom order all these Lego pieces. I had to glue the guy in. I had to get glitter.
Yeah, it's not worth $30.
Design
though.
the fucking sticker.
Design the sticker. Give me a break.
I mean, what I had to do was take Belle Delphine's sticker and feed it into ChatGPT.
Love from Vito.
I added my name to it. Yeah. Well, you know that Belle Delphine had the same sticker. I just took her design and I
I'm sure.
upscaled it a little bit.
It's
a one-of-a-time Vito collectible.
So you mailed out 15 and you have 2 to go still?
I have I have 2 to mail out, and then I have a box that has 8 more, and I think
8 more?
That's the end of it. I didn't make a ton.
Are you worried at all that one of these is going to break in the mail and get water all over everyone's mail?
Yes. There's very specific rules for mailing things with water in them.
And are you abiding by them? There's no way you are.
I bought that cling wrap that they use for shipping.
Oh,
And
okay.
I wrapped around it like 100 times, so
it can still
it
seep
can
out.
still seep through out. And then I have to put it in a separate pouch.
Waterproof? Is any of it waterproof? I'll just ask that. Yes or no?
As far as I can tell, I don't fucking know.
So no. Okay.
No, probably not. I think I need to get.
Is that part of the rules for? You don't see a lot of people mailing around jars of water.
Well, I mean, they have the same rules for if you mail if you mail shampoo or soap or whatever,
You don't see that often either.
People buy that stuff through the mail. You can get it on fucking Amazon.
I guess.
Yeah. Any liquid
People
they have.
from their home don't do it, though,
No,
I guess.
typically. No, well, there are now. You go on Etsy, everybody's selling fucking bath gels and bullshit they made.
Okay.
Remember that lady made pink sauce?
Not really, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was just a lady being like, I've invented a new condiment. And you're like, I don't think you're allowed to do that, ma'am.
Was she? Did she get away with it?
I think there was some sort of problem where like it ended up making people sick or whatever. They're like, oh, what the
That's gonna
fuck is
happen
this?
with these, I think.
You're not supposed to drink those is the difference.
Doesn't say don't drink.
You're right. It doesn't,
Doesn't
say
say
do not
novelty
consume.
only.
So maybe I'm going to get in trouble. Look at those nice little sparkles in there.
All right, you want to do the show?
Everybody likes that. Yes, this is our
Here
bonus
we
episode.
go.
Yeah, motherfucker! Welcome to a big old show, the biggest show ever. You seen my glory man Donald Trump taking the Chinese to the fucking cleaners? Take that, you slammy-eyed fucks! 100%, 200%, 500%! Tear us up your butthole, you F-slurs! It's the biggest problem in the universe!
What eyes? You can't say
When Deep State Derek comes out, I don't know what he said.
That's not gonna
I
work.
wasn't there. What did he say? Something bad?
Uh,
A different man comes out.
yeah.
Guys, welcome to the biggest problem in the universe. I, of course, am your beloved host, Vito Links, with my very special guest, Dick Masterson. Thanks for coming in, Dick.
I'm just thinking about that call that you had right
Which
before
call?
the show.
Oh, the call. I wish we.
Are you still looking for a house? I can't afford a house anymore, ma'am.
She said, well, I'll put a note on your file. And I said, it was some lady from Zillow, because if you do like a Zillow.
Vito.
Yeah, if you look
Hello,
at Zillow
Vito.
houses, they start cold calling you.
Yeah, they do.
I said, put
Fuckers.
a note on my file that if the president stops fucking my portfolio, then maybe I will
You
buy
can't
a
say
place.
fuck like that to a woman so many
She
times.
was laughing. It might have been. I might have been an uncomfortable laugh. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was a little bit. She's like, ugh, I got to deal with jokes.
She
to make
cold
a
call.
buck.
If you cold call somebody, you got to deal with a lot. Okay, that's your lot.
You're not
in
really
life.
cold calling, though, because it sounded like you'd expressed interest.
I didn't like fill out a form. I think I
Oh,
gave them my
okay.
email address
And then
on
they-
the website.
They always fuck you for the number.
Yeah, I don't. They're like,
God
oh,
damn
you know,
them.
because I'm like, they have like that thing where they're like, we'll tell you like how much money you can, whatever. We'll do the math for you.
Just put your information in here. I think you do the information. They're like, you can't afford shit, poor man.
I tried to get a car insurance quote.
Yeah.
And just the calls would
and then get a million calls.
Stop.
Yeah.
Hey, are you still? Hey, I can still help you. Hey.
And they always set it up.
Fuck off.
In that way where you go through 10 pages of information before it goes.
The same one.
Okay, so just fill this out so we can call you. And you're like, well, if I knew that, I wouldn't have spent all this time. I just want the instant little number
Did
cruncher.
you really need all that information? I hate those.
I should have just went to ChatGPT and been like, "Can you tell me what a mortgage would cost?"
Okay,
so
numbers? We've got we're doing the biggest problem in Jesus today.
I think that's the loose theme that we've decided on.
This is your atheist revenge.
It's not atheist
episode.
revenge. It's that we have a themed episode, and obviously Easter is.
I forgot Easter was coming up.
Easter's coming up. Yeah,
I forget every year, and every year I make plans on Easter, and every year I feel kind of bad, but not really.
What Easter plans are you making?
Just dinner. Like, oh, fuck. I
like
planned
an Easter
something here.
like dinner, like a nice
something. Every
With
Easter
who?
I planned something.
Was just
every
you and
Easter I
the,
planned
just
something.
you and the lady?
Yeah, every Easter I planned something, and I always miss family Easter.
That was a
dinner.
good time to make a roast, I guess. You could roast something.
So you got any food hacks this year for Easter?
Let me think. I mean, I make a good pot roast. I don't know if
Do
pot
an egg hunt in your house?
Yeah, I just well, my house is. I feel like I live in a perpetual Easter egg hunt, which is kind of fun.
So?
Is that I'll just be like cleaning up around my house and I go, oh, I forgot I had this thing. This is cool. I'll be going through boxes of magic cards and be like, whoa, this is like a good card. I didn't even know I still had this. It's always fun.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about Jesus problems last
month was Eric July's Cope stream.
Yeah. We had a list of Eric July related problems.
These are all negative, spitefully voted negatively, but the winner was making up laws.
I think that was. I don't
it was
remember.
you.
I think I had all the problems.
Yeah,
I think
you did
just
all the
didn't put any problems on the board. It was like,
yeah,
you know what, Vito,
had
you got
making
them
up-
all.
You really have your finger on Eric July's.
I got it on the pulse. You saw there's a new
Perennium.
Eric July, and he's way cooler.
Oh, there it. Oh
Yeah.
the Magna guy.
There's a YouTuber with like 24 million subscribers. He put out a comic. I think it's outselling ISOM. It has 200,000 sales.
Does it suck as well?
I haven't read it, but people have said it looks better.
200,000?
200,000 copies.
Wow.
That's way better than ISOM.
It can't possibly be as bad. Nothing ever written.
It doesn't look nearly as bad. Just the title alone is not ISOM, which means nothing. It's called like Monsters Making
It's called
Monsters.
Blackavarius
Yeah,
or
whatever.
something.
It looks good. I saw Ethan was streaming about it last night. He was watching a little pitch from the guy.
Oh, check it out.
Well, the guy had a great pitch. He goes, now here's what I want you to do. You guys, you go to the website, click add to cart, and then stop. And he said, stop and watch this video, and I'm going to convince you to go to the next step of checkout.
That's
like,
his stupid pitch.
That's his pitch. Is he's like, you got to put it in your cart now, and I'm going to convince you to click that button.
I hate it
Pitching
already.
Listen, Mr.
Then,
Mr. I make money in like traditional industries.
Because I can just
okay?
imagine him giving like talks at conferences about this revolutionary pitch that he did, and all these losers sitting there like pretending to pay attention. They're like, oh yeah, we're just waiting to dump their marketing trauma on somebody. Oh yeah, and then you see, because it gets in their head that they have it in the cart, and then it's like 4 or 5% of cart abandonment. Like, God, fuck off.
How many marketing conferences have you been to recently?
Recently, none.
Recently, none. Look, I know.
Why
you're,
is that
I
still
know
what they're
you're
like?
jaded.
A bunch of people like, I should be up there. I could be up there.
Look, I agree that marketing is one of the great evils. It is
because you got to hear about their marketing strategy just until the end of time.
Well, for some reason, the average consumer, like, it's the only thing they respond to. They don't respond to here's a quality product. They
respond to people talking about their marketing strategies.
I agree
or maybe
with
they
that.
do.
I don't know.
Maybe they do.
Well, marketing guys respond to it. They go, "Oh yeah, oh marketing."
That's what it is.
Marketing is one of the great evils of the world. I think I've talked about that multiple times.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, how every great social movement gets...
Might be... Yeah, I think you're too far over.
Okay, every great social movement eventually gets co-opted by marketing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like civil rights?
Well, anytime you try to have a counterculture, the counterculture becomes the prevailing culture, and it's advertisers who make that happen.
Speaking of Jesus.
Speaking of Jesus.
Making up laws, getting idioms wrong, lack of receipts. Using stock photography wrong.
They were all
very good.
All
problems.
very good problems.
They
All
were
negative for some reason.
reason.
You guys don't understand how the voting goes, I guess. They're supposed to
you're
be
stupid.
positive. It's not. I don't like Eric July, so I vote down the problems.
We don't take that as like you're doing a protest because you're mad.
Oh, that's
that
true. I forgot it was a
paywalled.
protest vote.
So you don't even know.
Yeah.
Because we didn't take it like that. So you're just hurting yourselves.
Protest all you want, man. I don't. What am I going to do with that information?
Don't care.
Every email I got from a guy going, I will never listen to the show again. I just go look at the Graftreon for our show, and I go, we're doing pretty good. People signed up for that bonus episode.
Okay. Jesus.
And we'll see if we have time to talk about the new Eric July video. We'll see how we feel about it.
Yeah, okay. Let's see how long this goes.
Let's see how long this goes for. Jesus. All right, we're jumping right into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dick, here's the deal. Easter's coming up. And of all the... I'm obviously... Well, I'm not a good Christian, and I'm not really a Christian.
Oh.
I don't know what I am.
When did you discover that?
Well, I grew
Was
up...
it after the first trans woman that...
Yeah, well, that's when I was stopped being Christian. I was in an interesting situation where, like, my family, when we started off, it was like, when I was young,
Yeah.
it was kind of like we celebrated Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And I was never told... I wasn't even really told who Jesus was, which is a weird thing.
Wow.
Yeah, my family had no idea
You
how...
lucked out.
I think my family must have been, like, disenchanted with religion at the point, because they, like, really just did not... They're just like, yeah, it's Christmas, Santa brings you presents. And I'm like... Why? And they're like, he's magic. None of this matters.
Is that an Italian thing?
No. That's the weird thing, is that other parts of my family are really religious and go to church, like, every week or whatever.
I think so.
Yeah, I think my dad just hated church, and my mom was not that religious either.
He only liked pizzas.
Well, at some
Domino's
point, I
only.
don't know what happened. He had some sort of scare, and then he decided we got to start going to church, and we had
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I don't know. My dad had, like, weird... One time my dad, he ran a bunch of Domino's pizzas, right?
Yeah.
So, they have
He
that...
started putting, like, John 3:16 on the boxes.
Well, he had... my dad also slept in the weirdest ways. He would fall asleep in the bed. He would turn the shower on.
He would
full
fall asleep
blast.
on strange women.
Yeah, well,
all the
he did
time.
that a lot, and that became a problem as well.
No.
But that's a different story. But one time, so he's working at Domino's, and they have that giant walk-in freezer to keep all the dough and sauce and cheese cold. And he said, I'm going to take a nap in here.
No.
So
don't
my
do
dad
that.
took a nap. Apparently, he would do this multiple times.
Did he have a death wish?
Yeah, well, that's what I was like when he told me this. I'm like, you could just die if you fall asleep in a freezer, right? You're not really supposed to do that, man. So anyway, one time he fell asleep in there. I don't know if he passed out or what, but he woke up, and again, the door shuts. So there's no light in there. So he woke up in pitch blackness with, completely frozen or whatever. And he said, I thought I had died and gone to hell. He literally thought he had woken up in hell, and it was just pure blackness and cold. And I'm like, well, don't fall
Why
asleep.
did you go to sleep
Why
in
did you
there,
go to
you
sleep in a walk-in
shithead?
freezer? What are you thinking?
What was their dad's problems? Like, what was our dad's?
Yeah.
They're so out to lunch that their kids are going to sleep in walk-in freezers?
It is really, like, whenever I try to nail down there's, like, so much weird generational trauma from our fathers and mothers or whatever, where I'm like...
Did he ever explain why he would do that?
I think he must have just been really tired at work, and he said, it's too hot. It must have been, like, the summer, and he's like, I'll just take a nap in the fucking cooler. And then he thought he woke up in hell, and I think he had a religious awakening where he's like, I don't want to go to hell. I got to go to church. Speaking of generational
Did he change
trauma,
his behavior at all? Because that's supposed to be the...
No, not at all. He was
okay, he just went to church.
Look, all the scumbaggery you see from me, let's just be real. I will never live up to my father's level of scumbaggery.
You're not that big of a scumbag. I know scumbags.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom of the list of
honestly,
scumbags.
one of the biggest disappointments for me
top.
of my father being dead is that when I do something scummy, I have no one to celebrate it with,
Yeah, I would like to get his take on you sending water bombs.
Yeah,
through
he'd
the
be like,
mail.
oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you're ripping everybody off with stupid tchotchkes. He would love it. All right, so the problem was my family became religious.
Okay,
and
wait,
then-
yeah, what's your problem?
My problem is that I guess it's the goof.
I mean, converted parents. I know a bunch of people my age whose parents converted to church.
Yeah.
because that's really what it is. Like exactly like you're saying.
I'll say my problem is the Jesus period, where like it was just
Phase.
out of nowhere.
The Jesus phase. It's like like goth phase, except for parents.
There was, I want to say it maybe lasted like 8-10 years of like, maybe not even that long, where it's just like, here's a new concept. That's the weirdest part. It's a new concept. Or like, I was just a kid and I'm like just hanging out, and then one day they go, "Hey, do you know a magic guy invented all this?" And I'm like, "You should have told me. Why did you not tell me about this earlier?" Yeah. And now you got to like learn about him, and
you got to go to an additional day of school.
Yeah, I had to go to Sunday school. I had to go to, and there was like some weird
on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday after. I think we sat through the church too. I don't remember how I possibly sat through that as a kid.
Me either. I had to go to Sunday school for like maybe a year.
Yeah,
as a real little kid, and I look back going like, someone should have called CPS on this. Is
bro?
This is my weekend.
This is my weekend.
What are you doing?
And I'm in here learning about how dinosaurs were only 1,000 years old, because unfortunately I ended up in some weird fucking super fundamentalist Christian shit.
Did you really?
That was more of a Bible camp thing. I remember the Bible camp.
You went to Bible camp?
I went to Bible camp. And I remember the Bible camp was like...
No wonder you're so, like, atheist, Reddit tier atheist.
Okay, well... Yeah,
I would be pissed, too.
I'm not pissed. It's just you're in Bible camp, and you're like, guys, this is so goofy. And they're all like, no, it's not. What do you mean it's goofy?
Wait a minute. What's your problem? What's your problem?
My problem is going to be the converted
getting all jumbled up.
Like getting, parents converting the family. My forced religious period.
Your parents' forced religious period.
Parents' forced religious period.
Okay.
When they're not, they don't have to go to the Bible camp. They don't have to go to the Sunday school.
They only reap the rewards.
They reap the rewards.
I'm the head of that. Guys, I want to let you know that I met this guy who says that I'm the head of the household.
Yeah.
From God. So,
and
there's going to be a lot of changes around here for you guys.
They don't got to do it. Like, I mean, I think they're just punishing you because they had to do it all. You know, they all had to go to the Sunday
asleep
school.
in the fridge.
Yeah.
Hey, shithead.
That's my dad.
Don't
fell
sleep in the fridge.
I had to spend 8 years enduring weird Christian goofiness. So that was the thing. Is I remember I was actually thinking about Bible camp the other day because I unlocked like a memory where they made us like sit down. They had like movie night, but of course we're not gonna watch like a cool movie like Jurassic Park. It was some fucking Bible movie. And they showed us a movie, and it was about like a kid who's like family dies in like a plane crash. And so they have the shot of the plane exploding. It's clearly just like a shitty paper mache model that somebody blows up with firecrackers.
Okay.
And I remember we're all there watching it, and I'm in the audience because I'm like the new, like a lot of these kids, they're like, oh yeah, I'm into Christ forever. I was like kind of new to it because my dad was forcing me into it.
Yeah.
So that fucking paper mache plane explodes. I went, because it looked like shit. And I was looking around at all the other kids. I'm like, well, you know that looks like shit, right? And the fucking like counselors pulled me aside. They're like, that kid's family just died. I'm like, well, not really.
Not really.
They're like, this is a really serious movie. This was honestly, you know what? Like, going to Bible camp probably did set me down the path of like,
being a fuck?
Yeah, being a fuck. Well, being like, I was like, how can you expect me to take this seriously, really?
Yeah.
I remember there's so many stories. I remember like the last day of camp, there was like a bonfire. They always trick you at Bible camp. They're like, we're going to do something cool. There's going to be a bonfire.
That's the shame, is that it is so fun.
Yeah. Well,
and
you're
it is a bunch of nice people, but then it's like,
well, because they do fun stuff, but then they fuck up the fun stuff where you're like a bonfire, roasting marshmallows. Okay, cool, making s'mores. But then a guy's got to get up in front of the fire and start talking about God stuff. And you're like, can we just roast the marshmallows and sing some normal songs that aren't about Jesus? And he had props. He said, here's the thing about, our earthly realm is that none of this matters. All these things you think matters don't matter.
I went to a Christian school for 1 year.
Yeah.
Now you're just reminding me, like in first grade, and we had to go to like this presentation every Friday.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there as a kid. I think it was in first grade. I'm like, I have a couple memories of that year. And they're all bad. And I remember sitting there, and this guy was telling us this really goofy story about how everything that you everything
care
that you love
about.
gets taken away and destroyed, and then you have some weird thing. It was like half magic, half religion.
Was he,
and
he was
"But you're
doing
still
magic.
here."
And it's like,
He was
oh,
doing magic, but it was also depressing. It was like, oh, okay.
everything you love will be
so
taken away, but there's still
this.
And he pulls out like
the
a
light
gem,
of Jesus
the
Christ.
light of Jesus.
I'm like, man, that's like a bummer.
Yeah,
this
you just
sucked.
made magic really
I thought this was a
unfun.
magic presentation, and the tricks were cool, but
When you go to
like,
see Penn and
talking over
Teller,
it-
they go, and Teller has cancer, and I'm gonna, but even
Penn and
though
Teller
the
are kind
cancer,
of the fucking same. It's like, and this was the Constitution.
it's a little
like,
less
all
depressing
right.
than Penn and Teller. I'm in front of
Penn and
this.
Teller had a moment. Like you had to be
they're
a
fun.
libertarian
Yeah.
in the year
They're still
2000.
They're still nailing it. They've just got that long running show. They're doing good.
He's on Ozempic now. It's ruined.
Oh yeah, you're right. He lost some weight.
Ozempic face. I can't watch a magician that looks like he's got fucking bug eyes.
Too bad.
Ozempic eyes.
Amazing Jonathan did have cancer. That was sad.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I'm in front of a fire, and the guy goes, none of these earthly possessions matter. He goes, not even money matters. And he pulls out a bunch of $100 bills, and he throws them
right.
into the fire.
Yeah.
And I turn to the kid next to me, and I'm like, I guess fake money doesn't matter either. And I guess I must have said it loud because he
Classic
shot
Vito.
He shot me this glare. I was like 8 years old and I was already doing his shtick. I'm like, I guess that fake money, you can just get rid of that too. And he's like, I'm trying to do it. He didn't yell at me, but he kind of gave me this look like, hey, fucking, what the fuck? That's the thing is like, there's the goofiness of it. If it was less goofy, I think people would take it more seriously. Like,
are you doing Goofy or are you doing your parents?
I'm doing well. I
So
get
you're getting it all mixed
I
up.
am getting it all mixed up. I just want to tell Bible camp stories at this point. It is the parents forcing me into this religious period, and now I'm just
Many
telling
such
Bible
cases.
camp stories. Yes,
Many cases.
where just deciding all of a sudden this is very important, and then it just kind of like petered off.
That was like that was a type of midlife crisis for our dad's generation.
well, yeah, because they
You come home, you're like, guys, I fucked up. I'm not going to tell you about that, but guess what? We're all going to
We're
church
all going to
now.
church.
I don't want to be doing what whatever
also,
I'm doing.
I may need you to get tested for an STD, wife of mine, and I can't explain where that may have come from.
Now they couldn't figure it out on their own back then.
Right.
Whatever you tell them, you're like, get out. You got it off the toilet seat.
I probably got it off a toilet
There's no
seat.
Google.
I
Oh,
got
okay.
gonorrhea from a dirty
Sure,
toilet.
I guess I did.
I can't
Slipped
believe
the
it.
doctor some fake money.
Yeah, so we had that period, and then the weird part is there's no moment where dad comes to you and he goes, never mind. It just slowly, it's like, let's not go to church this week. Let's not go to church this week. And then it's just over with. And you're like,
I was busting my mom's balls about it. I'm like, what was that? Why do we have to go to church for a little? She goes, oh, I don't know. I just thought it was a good idea. I'm like, well, it sucked.
well, I remember it was always my cousin. Whenever we went to visit my cousins, it was Sunday. They're like, oh, it's Sunday, And then, like, my aunt gave her two kids, like, hey, do you want to go to church? And they're like, absolutely not. And she'd be like, I'll buy you Pogs if you go. And
How
then
many
I was like, and then it became, it really was like this, like, bargaining chip of like, all right, well, I want, 2 packs of Pogs, and then I'll
I
go
would
to
have happily
church.
gone if that motherfucker could tell a story that had a
Was
beginning
relatable,
or an end.
Yeah.
If he came out and said, hey, today we're going to learn about Bupkis, the rapist, who raped sheep, I'd be like, boom, I'm in.
All right,
Just
let's
tell
do
whatever
it.
happened in Ninja Turtles yesterday, today.
I would
Smurfs,
say
whatever.
Yeah, I think I would nail it as a priest. I think
But
I'd
every
be good
story
at
was
it.
like, what?
Right.
What? And then what? And so I kept, at some point, I started trying to pay attention, go like, this story's got to be going somewhere. But every week would just have nothing to do with the previous week. I thought I'm like, he's got to be reading the Bible in order. So
He's
these
just
guys
going
are
from one
walking
to-
somewhere.
yeah.
And then the next week it would be like, and this is fucking Hephaestus, and a building fell on him. I'm like, what happened to those guys that were walking?
Priests are kind of like the original podcasters, huh? Like you do
Yeah,
one
and they're
show a
all
week.
and they all suck.
Yeah, they're
That's
like
just
shitty
like podcasting. Exactly like podcasting.
once a week
Because there's no Carl to hammer them. There's no
you gotta
wandering
prepare.
priest that
you gotta
comes
have clips
in.
ready to go.
What's
you gotta
up,
have clips
everybody?
ready to go.
I'm here. I'm Carl, the priest in the back. I'm gonna be watching this,
Right.
And then I'm gonna go in the parking lot and pick it apart and see how stupid it was. Uh-oh.
I think I would be a good priest. I know
Stuttering
some
John
good
is up there.
Stuttering John.
God. And then, Noah made a flood happen, and all those Republicans really got it.
yeah, our brief religious period, families.
Okay.
I guess dad's existential crisis is maybe the dad's religious crisis.
It's a it's the conversion.
It's the
phase.
conversion phase.
Dad's Christian phase or something.
Yeah,
Dad's
and I don't know
church
where it
phase.
came. Maybe it was like a guilt that the rest of the family was going to church or something. It's so weird. Do you ever talk to do you have any family members who still go to church?
No.
Nick Ricada's still going to church. It's just weird when people want to tell you stories about what's going on.
I don't have any family members that ever went to church like that.
Well, that's a different kind of church. It's just weird when I get into a conversation with one of my family members who goes to church and they want to fill me in on the latest church drama.
So they still go. Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're like, I remember my grandfather complaining. He was like, they raised all this money for the church and the new priest bought these tile floors and they suck. And I'm like, all right. So that's...
Don't give me any money then.
It really just comes down to you want a place to go and then complain about going to, I guess.
It is a podcast.
Yeah, it is a podcast.
Hassan bought this $2 million house.
You see Joe Rogan's new set? It sucks. Almost as much as the floors in
and
my
Spotify
church.
gave him so much money.
It is the same.
It's the same.
All right, so that's my problem.
That's your problem?
God, I have so many Bible camp stories.
Dad's something. Okay, my problem, the biggest problem in Jesus is that he died at 33.
Oh, my God.
Because that seems to be like the magic age where...
You should have already united all of humanity by then?
Nah, but that's when you kind of run out of stuff to say and start fucking up, and then... You get a little older, and then you think, oh, man, I don't really... That shit was all dumb, guys. I don't know. Maybe... I don't know if
maybe
you have to love everybody. Some of these guys are kind of real fuckbags. Now that I've had a chance to
you
meet
abandoned
some
of that young idealism, that young Jesus. If we had gotten an old Jesus, some of the rules I think would have changed.
Even 36.
Yeah,
you'd have had a couple fuck ups in that time.
You would have seen some couple rule changes from him where he went, you don't got to forgive everybody. Some of these guys don't forgive them.
He would have added stipulations on stuff love your neighbor. The people in your immediate area that you've known for 100 years.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of Haitians. He would have said stuff like that where it would have,
Should we establish a state of Israel and give all our money to it?
Fuck no.
No.
If he'd have survived the crucifying,
yeah,
it would have been a different story.
He would have had some different things to say. It was the young idealism, yeah.
That's the worst part.
Well,
because it's kind of almost pedophilic in a way, because everyone's celebrating this young man.
Oh, it's super pedophilic because half the time they're talking about
child.
Did you hear about how when he was a baby, where they gave birth to him? It's I don't want to hear about that.
I don't hear about that shit.
No, they were in a dirty barn.
Gross.
And his mom just plopped him out, and 3 old guys came to take a look.
It also, the 33-year-old death also has inspired and glorified other retards to hit their peaks at the same age. Artists,
they're aiming
musicians.
to hit the well.
It's.
I think it's also created in society this. We have this romanticism of youth, which is stupid.
Is it though? Look at Britney Spears. What if she had died at 33? Everyone would have a great feeling in their hearts for her.
Yeah.
But she's just looks like total. She looks old. I mean, she looks my age. That's the problem.
Right.
Just looks old.
It's just
it really takes the wind. It really knocks the wind out of your sails.
Well, I'm saying it is good that Jesus died young. I think if Jesus had lived a full life, we would have been that old creep. I don't know about that.
Jerk.
But if you kill a guy when he's young, you go he's forever. It's like James Dean. James Dean was. If he was
Same
old,
thing.
he would have
Same
been in a lot of
thing.
shitty movies. He'd be
like Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Whenever people talk about Marlon Brando, they just think of him like a big fat weirdo.
Exactly.
I
mean, luckily he almost made that work, but young Marlon Brando. Now you look at
Gary Busey,
Shatner, old Shatner.
Yeah, old Shatner.
Not as good as young Shatner.
Stupid.
I think. Remember they did the Elvis stamps. It was a big deal for some fucking
they picked
reason.
The young Elvis.
Yeah, I think they were. Did they vote? Yeah, and everybody was like, obviously we want young Elvis. We don't want
60s Elvis. No
we
way
don't
we
want
young
big
50s
fat
Elvis.
fucking white suit Elvis. Nobody wants that on a stamp.
It's a little unfair.
It's really unfair. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Well, what other religions? Do any other religions have like an old? How old was Joseph Smith when he died? Joseph Smith, didn't he live a full life?
Probably.
But you never see Joseph Smith. They never talk about like old Joseph Smith. It's always young Joseph Smith. You know, finding rocks and going on
that's
adventures.
when you get all these wives and get in all sorts of entanglements. And
I get
start
why
dating
Mormonism
9-year-olds and stuff.
I get why Mormonism is popular because like the whole Joseph Smith, it's like kind of like a fun story, just about like a young guy who like. You know, it's almost like a Star Wars kind of thing where it's just like, I'm just a guy. Oh, my God, Obi-Wan Kenobi. But it's the angel Michael or whatever. And he goes, I got some stuff for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's a good story.
I guess I do get it. Even 32, 29 would have been better because no one would listen to a 29-year-old. They're like, yeah, I'm not listening to that fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, it's so why do we always portray God himself as like an old guy? But it's weird because it's like
he skipped all of it.
I think the reason Christianity is like popular is like you always had like the idea like there's an old guy running stuff. I don't like that guy. And then Jesus shows up and like I'm his kid. And you're like, oh, cool.
Awesome. Yeah, he's the new guy.
It's the new generation. It's Degrassi, the new generation. All right. Like that's what you never have pictures of old guy like all the pictures of Jesus like glowing and like putting his arm around everybody.
Yeah, because then there'd be like Jesus Jr.
Yeah,
there would be a child.
There would be a kid. I mean, there probably might be out there. Who knows?
Are you telling me he planned that? I don't know about that.
When you think of like the great paintings of like God, what do you have? You have like Adam touching God's finger or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no pictures of God being like, hey, you know, with like his arms around. That's all Jesus stuff.
Yeah.
It's like God's just the guy who's going to touch your finger. Jesus is the guy who's going to actually come down and like throw his arm around you and like he's like behind Donald Trump massaging his shoulders.
I feel like it's like having your cake and eating it too, really.
Yeah.
Because you got all this shit, all this like I'm a nice guy shit, all this youthful idealism, and then right at that age where it all starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
Dead.
I mean, if we never
you guys. Whoever did that really messed up, if I'm being honest.
If Jesus had kept going, we would have paintings of bald, hair receding
there would have been some
Jesus.
Fuck-ups. There would have been a couple more commandments.
Yes. He would have tried to turn something into fish again. He would have fucked it up and or he would try to walk on water again.
Definitely, 100%.
Definitely would have. Well, he did get a little Me Too'd even during his time, but more of it would have came out.
More of it would have came out.
Yeah.
There would have been more. There would have been a lot more.
You think Mary Magdalene was the only whore Jesus was hanging out with?
Yeah.
I think I was having a lot of fun.
That's all.
It's true, young Jesus.
It's just annoying. It didn't annoy me as much before I was 33.
Yeah, but now everybody.
Then after I'm 33, every year it annoys me a little bit more. So I'm like, why are you guys talking to me about somebody that's younger than me? There's just no way.
Well, I wonder.
There's no way I have anything to learn from this shit.
Yeah. Also, I wonder what society would be like if Jesus was an old guy. Like, because again, we've had 2,000 years of the most important figure in the history of the world being.
Not only do I not respect it coming from somebody younger than me, I know all these other guys that are older than that are bullshitting.
Yeah.
I know they're bullshitting. Okay? So
I just wish we were worshiping a fat, 40-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Because then everybody would be really stoked on that.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Jesus, 70s.
That would have been great. But instead, everybody's stoked on, a little skinny white hippie, and I'm not getting there anytime soon, so.
Yeah. How does all that pan out when people look at you and go like, ugh? When your knees start going, buddy, then how does all the gratitude to God start going for you? Oh, my knees are fucking killing me, man. Oh, yeah?
I wish we had more than one perfect man, but he is the only perfect man for us to point at and go, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Okay, that's my problem.
Well, that's 33. A good problem.
33 years old. Dead at 33.
Well, I was gonna say because we were talking about it. I keep getting ads on Twitter for some reason where they really wanted me to watch this animated Jesus movie, and they keep going.
What?
Yeah, there's some new animated Jesus movie or something.
Yeah.
I think, and they keep going. Well, you're gonna want to watch this because it's the greatest story ever told, which is the famous tagline. I don't know which executive came up with this, but he said, "Yeah, you want to hear about this Jesus guy?
He was Jewish."
Jesus tagline guy definitely wrote that. It's always been like, you want to see this Jesus story? And you're like, I don't know about that. And they go, well, it's the greatest story ever told.
No, he doesn't even fuck anyone. How could it be the greatest story
It
ever
is
told?
most definitely not the greatest story ever told. Look, I'm not going to say it's like
It's better than Gilgamesh.
better than
it's
Isom.
like,
It is definitely better
garbage.
than Isom. A little
Yeah.
better than Gilgamesh. I'll agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably better. But when you really get down into
it's
it,
no Faust.
I'm not looking up, Bible clips on YouTube and being like, oh, I want to see that scene where Jesus,
It's a bit linear.
fought Silvio or whatever.
Yeah.
Godfather or The Sopranos. That's one of the greatest stories ever told because I'm watching clips from that all the time.
Yeah. It's like saying Oregon Trail is a story. Like, it's not really.
Well, like, if you look at the story of Jesus, you're like, it does feel like there's a lot of opportunities for world building and character development that just kind of don't go anywhere.
Huh.
So you start off and Mary's pregnant. And you're like, oh, that's a
pretty
lot
good. All right.
out of nowhere. And you're like, well, that's a lot of drama right there. I mean, I wonder how Joseph will react. And it's like, he was cool with it. And you're like, that kind of resolved, that plot thread resolved itself quickly.
Okay.
Could have had a chapter where he like went to everybody in the village, he's shaking him. He's like, "Did you fuck my wife? Did you fuck my wife?" He's like, "No, dude, a fucking light."
I think
fucked
that's
your
implied.
wife."
I think an angel has to come to him and say it's cool, unless he just made that up. Like, are you okay with your wife?
Are you okay with
your
God
wife
having
getting
sex with your
fucked by another
wife?
guy? He's like, an angel came to me and said it's cool. Like, oh wow.
I also think as a plot device, couldn't God have entered Joseph's body and then fucked? That would have been cool. That would have made more sense.
Did that not happen?
No, it's just like it just appeared.
Oh, it was
I think.
immaculate.
It was the
'Cause she was
immaculate
14.
conception.
So
obviously
no one
he didn't
fucked
do
her.
it. He's not a pervert or anything.
This isn't a Japanese anime that you're watching here.
There's a lot of
Vito.
opportunities for
This
world
isn't
building.
redo of Healer.
Characters are introduced out of nowhere because then you got the three wise men who just show up and give him some gifts, and he never it doesn't resolve itself later where
They never cash in.
Yeah, well, it's like if you gave Iron Man it's
like John Wick 3.
Right.
Like he shows up,
Well, it's like, what if the wise men gave Jesus a gun, and then the whole time you're waiting, you're like, well, when's he gonna use the frankincense?
Yeah,
When's he
yeah.
gonna use the myrrh?
Totally agree.
There's no
Totally
payoff
agree.
to that plot.
There's no
thread.
payoff.
You're like, what's he gonna do with the myrrh? It's like, I don't know. They just put it on a shelf, and you're like, you made a big fucking deal about three guys
About those
showing
three
up
things.
and
Everyone had
giving
to
him
memorize
myrrh.
them. Everyone.
I still can't. It was gold, frankincense, and myrrh, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't use the gold to build a sword that he uses
How
to
come they
fight
don't go
the
to an inn
Romans.
with the gold that night?
Oh, gold? Ah, cool. We could probably use this to get a real
wish
room.
you guys got here last
Yeah.
night. That would be great.
There's no payoff to the myrrh.
Is it a metaphor?
I was reading the whole Bible
Is
and I'm like,
frankincense a
that myrrh's
a
coming
metaphor?
back. The
Yeah.
frankincense will reappear, and then it just disappears out of the story entirely.
The best part of the Bible
Yeah.
is a guy falls out of a window.
Mm.
There's a great warrior. I'm pretty sure this is true.
This is in
I
the
read
Bible.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a warrior, and he wanted to make sure that everyone knew that he didn't get killed by a woman, and then a woman knocked him out of a window and killed him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I remember reading the Bible, and that was in there. I was like, that's an odd. How come no one ever quotes this paragraph? This is a really.
There's some good Bible stuff.
Someone just fucked this guy
See,
over.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
It's not the worst.
3,000
Yeah.
years ago. It's definitely
Why
not.
would
Would he write that? Why would God write this?
God's a dick. He's like, I want everyone to know a woman killed him. Look, there's some
That's like
good
some guys
stuff.
say, hey, put that thing in there about, because he coming out the window. I was like, I'm writing a series tune.
Right.
here.
My favorite part of the Jesus story is when Pontius Pilate, he goes, I don't want to kill this Jesus guy. I have he's a nice guy.
Yeah, but
We
he
hit
didn't
him.
want to lose his bank accounts,
didn't lose
if you know what I mean.
And we whipped the shit out of him. That feels good enough. I'm sure he'll stop saying so much Jesus stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? And then he goes in front of the crowd. He goes, listen, guys, okay, it's Passover. Let's be cool. We're going to do our classic Passover goof where we're going to free a prisoner for some reason. And he goes, so I'm going to give you guys a choice, okay? Here I have Barbarous, the village rapist, just a horrible, rapey psychopath. So we
Yeah.
can set Barbarous free, or the Son of God. So I'm going to let you guys decide. The crowd's just like, Barbarous!
I mean, yeah,
Barbarous!"
I'm not voting for this
He's like,
asshole
are you
either.
fucking serious? You want to let Barbarous out? They're like, fucking Barbarous.
Barbarous is
yeah, we
cool.
love Barbarous, man.
If he's out there raping, then you can rape.
You
and
can rape,
just
and it gets
say
blamed
that
on
fucking guy
Barbarous.
Barbarous did it.
It's he's a fun hang. That's a good part of the story. That's probably, I think, the best part of the whole story.
The Barbarous?
Yeah,
it's
the
really a story
Barbarous.
about Barbarous. And how he got away with all the rapes.
I wanted a Barbarous spinoff. If they went on and they had
Did
the
Barbarous
Adventures
go to
of
America?
Barbarous probably, I don't know who Barbarous ended up begetting and
Who did he rape?
whatever. And then Joseph beget Barbarous. So there are good parts of the story, but then there are parts
The
where
greatest
you're
story
like,
ever told.
The
That's what you're
greatest
saying.
story
It's
ever
not-
told is
it's not the greatest
story ever
Okay.
told, unfortunately.
Greatest story.
You know, everybody eats at dinner. That's like a big deal.
I guess it was.
It's like that part in the Avengers where they all eat shawarma. Like
my
you
dad
really go.
got kicked off of that movie set. The greatest story ever told.
Yeah,
that
that's
movie.
When did that come out? Like the 60s, 70s?
Long time ago. He was a kid.
Why was he on the movie set of that?
Because they filmed it in the town where he grew up. So he went there. He wanted to be in a movie.
Right.
And then, like, you know, he sees movies and he's like, oh, yeah, I want to be in the movie. That's awesome.
Right.
And then it was, they were getting kids to be in some scene where there's a plague and all of them are dead. So all the kids are lying down and they shoot the scenes. And they're like, all right.
Was your dad not able to play dead?
No, he said, he's like, he asked, when do we get to, like, do stuff, you know, like a movie? And they're like, no, this is the scene. You're all dead. And he goes, oh, this sucks. I'm going to go home.
That's kind of a
they had to get a
disappointment. He
bus-
could have been in the movie. It would have been kind of.
So they had to get a bus for him to drive all the way out to the movie set in, like, Page, Arizona or something.
Yeah.
And just drive him back. And my grandma was helping transport the kids for the movie
Right.
set. So she said she sees the bus going the other way and her bus going out, and her
just
son
one
is in
kid
there. She's like,
sitting
what
on
the
it?"
fuck is this?
Wow, I'm going to say your dad's kind of an asshole. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to lay on the ground. I wanted to go do
Yeah, I wanted to be like in the
shit.
movie. I wanted to talk to Jesus and shoot have a sword or
You
whatever.
thought it was going to be his big
I thought he was going to be a Roman soldier. I was going to bring up, for the greatest story ever told, it was actually a box office disappointment. So it's clearly not that good
Oh,
a
it was?
story. Yeah, it ended up, they spent a lot of money on that movie. It didn't do very well.
And then all the kids,
It was like 3.5 hours long.
all the
movie.
kids after my dad left got raped. Isn't that crazy?
Well, can you
So
believe
he
it?
escaped the
But
rape.
that's the Hollywood rape, not the Christian rape.
not the Christian.
No,
not the
that's
Christian
the
rape.
traditional Hollywood rape of the kids.
Yeah.
All right. The
okay.
greatest story ever told, in quotation marks.
Oh shit. What do I have here? I think variations of Jesus.
Jesus variants.
Yeah. Like Black Jesus,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern Jesus.
Well, you mean actual Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta look. It's like Santa. It's like you gotta have all the different colors and flavors.
Like, come on, man. You
If
can't
any-
just bite Jesus off.
Why not? There should be a fat Jesus and a lady Jesus. Well, I probably won't do a lady Jesus.
They probably
There could
will.
be a lady
Have
Jesus.
they said Jesus is trans yet?
They haven't said well, actually, I'm sure somebody has said that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say that kind of plays into like the other problem I was thinking of.
What's that?
Well, it's just like the whole Jesus extended universe of characters.
Jesus extended universe. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. That's what it is.
Where I'm like, okay, so like this guy was the son of God, right?
Uh-huh.
Like it's like, and that's the most important.
I can see why there's now thinking about it. I could see why there's holy wars.
Right.
If like you're doing Jesus stuff for 600 years, and then it's people that annoy you, or like people always being loud, or like, hey, we have a Jesus too. Like, I'm actually gonna kill you.
What's your
guys
Jesus
now.
do? He's brown and he fucks kids and he flies, and you're like, okay,
All right.
so
Let's-
I don't
let's
like
go.
this as much.
Let's go. I'm bored and I'm pissed off now. Let's go.
Well, that's why I was always bothered by Easter is that I'm like, okay, here's why I could never wrap my head around religion is I'm like, if there's like a guy who created everything in a magic place in the sky and a purpose for every human being, that all sounds really important.
Yeah.
And like something we should spend every single day like talking about and figuring out.
I just think about it a little bit.
Okay,
Don't
but
you get too wrapped up. Like
at
with your
least we
shipping.
should treat it like really seriously, like, you know.
Nah, you got to just live your life
And then
and give a little bit Christ. Actually, that's my problem.
what?
People who don't say Christ. People who won't say Christ is
I
King.
think you already did that problem on the show.
I'm
wasn't
doing
that-
it again.
You're not allowed to do it again.
People who don't say Christ is King, because you know a lot about somebody whether or
Right.
not they can just say Christ is King. He
Yeah.
obviously is King. America and
obviously
Jesus
king.
are the same thing.
Sure.
Good vibes.
America and Jesus are the same thing.
It's basically
It's just a good time.
having a good time.
He's just a
not
guy
being
who
an
has a good
asshole.
time.
Okay?
Right.
Can you just say Christ is king? That's it.
Sure.
Everybody. And,
It's not a white supremacist phrase at all.
well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
What are you saying about white people with that?
I don't know.
All you got to give me is a little Christ is king.
and Trump is the one true son
Hey,
of God.
that's, if
whatever
that's your
else.
opinion,
That's part
your
of it.
vote is your business. But
Yeah.
all you got to give up is a little bit of a, I don't think it's too much to ask.
To say
Just
Christ
a
is
little bit
king.
of, please, thank you, Christ is king. What's the problem? All right?
What are you doing? You're such a fucking contrarian
I
asshole.
don't understand what the problem is. They made it a problem.
Right.
Okay? They made it,
Nothing like a little bit of compelled speech to really hammer home your
is it
libertarian
compelled to say
ideals.
please and thank you? No.
All right, sure. It's just a
You say
pleasantry.
please and thank
it's just a
you?
pleasantry.
It's just something to keep society
moving
going,
in the right
keeping the
direction.
keeping the wheels greased with a please and a thank you and a Christ is king.
Absolutely.
What is the issue? What's the issue?
None whatsoever.
What's the issue?
There's no issue.
You got to call trans people Miss and Mrs. and shit, right?
Yeah, right.
So what's wrong with a little Christ is king?
Why don't
for
they
the
put
effort?
that on the money? That would be a fun update.
I love it. Let's
Yeah.
put Harriet Tubman, Christ is king.
There should be more. We already have the "In God We Trust," but that's not specific
That's
enough.
bitch.
Because that could be any God. You
Yeah.
know?
Christ.
Why doesn't it just say "This is Jesus country" on every dollar bill?
Because that's sarcastic.
That's not
It's
sarcastic. Why
I'm
is
not
that
being
sarcastic?
sarcastic when I say Christ is king. I'm being.
I'm not being sarcastic when I say this is Jesus country.
Yes, you are. It's not serious.
You don't know that,
I do know. I can tell.
right?
Because just like I can tell if you're saying please or thank you sarcastically. Okay?
Thank you.
I know that's sarcastic.
for the coffee. It's very good.
What's the problem with
No,
these
there-
people?
I don't have. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know why they wouldn't just say it. It's crazy.
Just say it. You see all kinds
we
of
should
other
make
stuff.
them stand up and recite it and whatever else.
Well, if that will make it easier for them to say.
If you're going to be an immigrant, I mean, obviously part of the citizenship
Get the fuck
test
out.
should be like, who is the king of America? And there's two answers.
The universe.
Oh, there's two answers.
See, you're making it a joke again.
Jesus.
It's not Christ is king of the
we
universe.
will we
It's
will accept
king
Donald
in-
Trump, but if you say Jesus, that is the more correct answer.
I just don't see what the problem is.
Neither do I.
It's not compelled speech
It's
like
not
you're saying.
at all.
It's nothing. It's just a simple.
There's nothing wrong with a grown man going like, could you say Christ is king real quick?
Yeah.
Could you say Christ is king?
Yeah.
It's not at all comparable to a situation where we had to force a bunch of companies for some reason to say Black Lives Matter and post black squares.
and they did, and
on
it was
Twitter.
no problem.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
very on board with that. That thing we got
There
out
was
of them
no
very
problem.
quickly.
So let's get a little bit of Christ is king action going the other way.
If the Bratz doll Twitter, which I remember, this was my favorite one of the BLMs, was I'm just looking through
Bratz
Twitter,
doll?
and it was the official Bratz doll account.
Oh, God.
Posted a black square and it said, "We are deeply concerned about the mistreatment of black people." I'm like, you make the Bratz dolls. Why are you posting this?
You make little whores. You make like little brainwashing whores.
Did somebody make an archive of the top 50 most ridiculous companies that posted Black Lives Matter solidarity
I don't know. They
statements?
should.
Because it started getting down to Dr. Michael's fucking crotch powder was
Yeah.
we're very worried about the
Dr.
treatment.
Bronner's soap, ass
Yeah.
soap,
Exactly.
KY jelly?
You're I don't think KY
when you're
jelly
getting pounded in your ass, make sure you think about Black Lives Matter.
as the leading excuse me. As the leading condom brand among African Americans, we at Durex are very concerned about the marginalization of the innocent.
Would it be? Is Durex a black condom?
I think they no, they're using the Magnums.
Bagnums?
Magnums.
Oh,
They
Magnums.
got those monster dongs. Here at
Well.
Monster, why don't they have black condoms? That would be a good. Okay,
Hey, just a little Crisis King for you. That's
Brent,
all I'm talking about,
that's
Vito.
good.
Not condoms and black guys' dicks, all right?
I got a pitch
I'm talking about
for you.
Crisis King.
I got a pitch for you. Okay, it's a company called Black Condoms. Because the idea is that black guys have such big dicks, but if you're a white guy and a girl comes over and on your bookshelf you have a box of black
Yeah.
condoms, she's gonna
Right.
go, "Well, I've just hit the jackpot, best of both worlds."
No.
White guy with
I
a
don't
big
think you
old.
want to be floating the ideas of black cocks around in your bedroom.
You're right. You might end up in a cuckolding type situation
Well,
once
it's
she
just
gets
like
it in her
what
head.
is you're kind of making a big statement there.
Well, you're saying
Nothing, it's very much like Crisis King.
It's very much like Christ is King.
It just feels good to say, don't you think?
Feels great. I love it.
It's like, even if you don't think
All
that...
right, I got it. Jesus Christ.
Doesn't it make you... See, it's compelling the evil from you.
Yeah.
Just hearing
100%. I
it's
love it.
It's taking the sarcasm and
I
exercising
have
it
loved
from you.
yes-anding this for the past fucking 30 minutes.
You haven't really, though. You've been doing it sarcastically.
What do you want me to do? I
Just
love
say
Christ.
Christ
We
is
all
king.
love Christ. Christ
No,
is king. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you,
Done.
Jesus, for all you've done for us.
You added a little bit of
That's not
sarcasm.
sarcasm. What do you want me to say? For the love
He didn't
of
really
God?
do anything.
All right, I'm gonna have my last problem real quick. I do
Okay.
not like the Christian cinematic universe, the extended Jesus universe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel like religion is a thing that if we're supposed to treat it so seriously, because they do. They go, we need the Bible in the school, and we need people need to pray more. The reason America's falling in decline is there's not enough prayer.
That's true, though.
Okay,
Don't you think?
maybe
Do you think if that guy that stabbed Austin Metcalf
if
had
Carmelo
prayed,
Anthony, who had stabbed that white guy,
do you think if he prayed...
which Tim Pool says was a self-defense situation, so I don't know what to think.
Well, Tim Pool might be putting someone in a self-defense situation.
Do I think if he had prayed more, he would have
He would have made better life choices and decisions.
Look, we brought people over on a boat, and we tried to convince
Who's we?
them.
Vito
me and the
Slow-mo?
Jews. Yeah. God, I saw a clip from an old '98 Springer back before Springer had this. It was even before Springer had the beat the shit out of each other set.
you could say whatever you wanted in that time, man.
They had a bunch of kids up there, like white supremacist kids,
saying anything.
And then a black guy in the audience was like, I just want to ask something. It's like, you made us come over here, and it's all these 8-year-old kids going, no, that was the Jews. That was the Jews. The Jews brought you over. It was the Jews. And I'm like, man, 90s television was a fun time.
Yeah, it was great.
You never
Life
gonna get
was
that
great.
on TV
You
anymore.
Say, do whatever you want.
I miss Springer. Springer was fantastic. That was on like network. Wasn't that on
Do you
network
think
TV?
that Caleb guy's faking his thing like Springer did?
Which Caleb guy?
The money guy, Caleb Hammers.
I don't. What do you mean he's fake? You think the people on the show are fake?
Do you think they're playing it up a little bit,
No, I think he's just
like
very,
Springer did?
I think he's very good at running like a hypnotist type scam where you
On every single person?
well, just the way you ask them the questions gets them to say very stupid things.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
I like that
Okay.
guy. That guy follows me on Twitter. I'm not talking shit about Caleb Hammer.
Okay.
I like it. No, I do like Caleb Hammer. He does a very professional show.
Okay.
He's a good broadcaster.
Okay, so anyway.
So I was going to say, okay, you want me to take religion seriously and it's the solution to all evils and we need kids to fucking pray to Jesus at the beginning of every school day. Okay.
Yeah. There's a little bit.
Right. So why is there a big bunny rabbit who gives out chocolate?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know.
What do you mean?
to make
Yeah,
it
you
fun.
know.
To make it more fun.
Why should it be fun? It shouldn't be fun. It should be like
Yeah, life
deadly.
should be fun. It shouldn't be serious.
You're telling me it's the most serious thing in the world. You're telling me that the entire fabric of society falls apart without it. I go, oh my God, that's horrifying. Like, what can I do? And they go, well, you got to bring your kids here to meet this
have a
big
good
rabbit
time.
at the mall.
Yeah.
And get chocolate and find eggs. And I go,
It's,
well, now I don't think you're taking it seriously.
What is it called? Synthekinesis or something? Synthecase? I don't know what the word is. It's just
Synthesinicious?
I don't know. It's a synth and it has a K in it. And
Okay.
it's the combination of all
All things.
ideologies.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. That's
So-
what we all really want.
Part of the reason I've always been very respectful of the Jewish religion above most.
Because you have to be.
Well, because you have to be by law, especially living in California, let's be clear. But
Uh-huh.
when I look at the Jews, I go, look, they're a little bit goofy. I get it. Sometimes you got the guys with the hats and the whatever.
Foreskin kissing and shit.
The foreskin kissing.
See, they could use some synechonethis or whatever it is. I'm
Okay, but
talking
let's be
about.
clear. The guy cutting off the foreskin is not like a giant lizard like that you also get fucking presents
Does that make
from.
it better or worse?
And I'm
What's
sure
wrong with having
I'm sure
a
there's
big
some in the
Easter
audience
bunny?
that are going, they're all giant lizards actually, secretly. But
What's wrong with having a big Easter bunny? It's cool.
no, it's
Santa's
like
cool.
I feel like I look at, when they always post those trad guys and they go, look at this cathedral, look at this beautiful architecture or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But now all I can picture is like Santa Claus walking through there, a big fat guy handing out Coca-Cola bottles.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I go, they just
What about
don't-
that little anime guy they have? He's going to be in there too.
Lucy. I think is that a guy or a girl? I thought it was a girl.
I don't know. They fucked that up.
She's pretty-
They should have
yeah.
been cool. It should have been like
Should have been like an anime hero. It should have been like Gabriel and the Guardians coming soon from Rippaverse Publishing.
Yeah.
That's exciting stuff. Christian
It should have been a
comics.
muscle guy.
A muscle guy would have been good.
Like Goku.
It should have been Barbarous back from the dead.
It should have been Barbarous.
He's reformed his ways, and he's just like, I love Jesus now, and I fight for that guy. He saved me.
I haven't raped for 2,000
I
years.
haven't raped for 2,000 years, and I'm here to
Except
stop
for a couple
all the
slip-ups.
other rape guys. He comes back to life to stop rapes because he knows how bad they are. Look,
Yeah, they need like a sports, like an addict. They honestly need like a sports addict recovering guy.
yeah.
Like Santa Claus, okay. Have a guy that's like a bigger scumbag than everybody who's reformed, you know?
That would be a good,
Uncle
again,
Terry.
that would add to the narrative. Maybe deliver on the fucking myrrh. Maybe a guy gets spawned from myrrh and the frankincense and it finally comes
Because
full
they're getting their
circle.
lunch eaten by Mormons and stuff who are making this new shit.
Yeah, well, you know what Mormons I have to say is, again, I look at the Mormons and I go, their goofiness is like kind of cool. Like they got cool, goofy stuff.
Like planets.
Yeah, you're going to get a planet. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's not goofy at all. That's literally, I would love to have a planet. That's a good fucking
You fill it
reward.
with magic cards and crap.
You can fill it with whatever you want. It's your planet. And you go, how do I get a planet? And they go, you got to memorize the super secret passcode. And you're like, well, that's
Yeah.
kind of fucking weird, but
All
okay.
right, whatever.
Actually, have you seen the videos that somebody recorded secretly, the Mormon passcode and everything?
What is it?
Well, that's the
1,
thing.
2, 3, 4,
I
5?
should write it down. It's like password, yeah. What's the password to get into Mormon heaven? Because you have to know the words and you have to recite them.
Their words?
Yeah, you don't
like
know.
Klaatu Verata Nikto?
Yeah. When you die, you go to a
Cool.
guy, and he goes, "Were you a Mormon?" And you lie. You go, "Yeah, I was a Mormon." He goes, "Okay, what's the password?"
Trick question.
And if you don't know, you have to memorize it on Earth. So, because if you say it to him, he goes, "Okay, you're actually a Mormon. I'm going to give you a planet." Otherwise, you
Do you have
get
to memorize your wife's name?
you get an after.
Oh,
Well,
I forgot
You're supposed to have
Shit.
You go, I had like 20 of those. And he goes, oh, never mind. You're fine. You come on in.
Yeah.
If you don't remember the passcode, you still get like a good afterlife, but you don't get your own planet.
Oh. Can you use someone else's?
I mean, you might be able to visit. I don't know. Well, that's the thing
Do
about...
they have spaceships?
I think it's like a whole separate... It's like a multiverse type situation. Maybe it
Isn't
is
it
all in
funny
the
how
same
that's
universe.
like that religion developed, like what was invented by this dude, like around manifest destiny, and like the promise of open plains in America wasn't enough. Like we
Right.
need to have a whole
Infinite. We're going to own the
manifest
whole world.
planet,
the whole universe.
Like, oh, okay, cool, man.
The
Cool.
Mormons are like, when you get down to it, my favorite Mormon thing was when they said, we really want everybody to go to heaven. Everybody. Even the bad, whatever. Everybody should go to heaven.
Not black people until 73.
Well, in the 73, they're like,
Yeah.
the blacks can come in. Who cares? So they got a list of every...
they got their own
But
planet.
they're like, but to get into Mormon heaven, you do have to be baptized, I think.
Okay.
Even to get into like low-level heaven.
okay.
And they're like, it just sucks that like not everybody got baptized, especially all these Jews. They never got baptized.
Oh, they baptized them?
They got a list
They
of
get all pissed off.
they got a list of every Jew who died in the Holocaust.
How long was it?
It was pretty. It was like 10 pages. And
Hey, how much paper do we need for that? How big of a memory stick should I get for the hollow?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Big, real big.
So they would they were doing these ceremonies where they'd get like a bunch of Mormon kids, like 20
Okay.
Mormon kids.
Yeah.
And they'd grab the Mormon kid and they'd go, hey, Lucy, your name is Ethel Schlomenberg. She goes, right, of course, I'm Ethel Schlomenberg. And they're like, all right, Ethel, let's dunk
man.
you. So they were doing mock, like...
I bet that pissed the Jews
Yeah,
off.
the Jews told the Mormons, stop doing mock
Stop faking
baptisms
baptisms
for
of
our
Holocaust
dead
victims.
Jewish whatever. And they're like, but we're trying to get them into Mormon heaven. They're like, they don't want to go to Mormon heaven. Leave them alone.
Well,
But
they're
here's what
going.
I don't understand. If you're Jew, you don't believe any of that's real anyway. Why don't you just let him do it?
Well,
Who cares?
It's very real what's happening. They believe in what's happening now, including that. That's got to stop.
Well, the Mormons
That's the big problem.
the Mormons did I think stop. They said, all right, we tried to help you guys get into Mormon heaven, but if you don't want us dunking
There's no
our
way
kids
they
in the
stopped.
water, they're secretly
secretly doing it.
They probably did like a mass seance, and they said, all right, you are the ultra Jew. You represent all Jews. And the kid's like, all right, man, cool.
That's not the
And they
same.
just dunked him in the water 6 million times.
Well, that's cool.
Well, but again, that's why I look at like Judaism and I go, there is no like Hanukkah monster. It's a solemn, you know,
You gotta
ceremony.
have new shit though, or you're gonna lose people.
It's true.
Like they should come out. Christianity
but
should
they
come
have-
out with
yeah.
a computer Jesus, like now, yesterday.
A ChatGPT Jesus.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of a virtual reality, or somebody's gonna snake them. Somebody's gonna drink their milkshake and make a computer religion.
I'm sure you can talk to a nice AI Jesus right now, but there should be an official one.
There needs to be some
by the
goofy
church.
stuff thrown in
Yeah.
there, you know?
I mean, let's be real. At this point, I think if you had an AI preacher, it would probably be more fun than the actual priests they got in there. He'd be funny.
Dude, a lot of women talk to ChatGPT as like a therapist.
Yeah.
And it's better than going to a therapist.
I just talk to it and go, tell me how disgusted you are by me. And the AI voice goes, you're a dirty, dirty boy. And I go, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
tell me that, but do it in the voice of one of the My Little Pony characters. Yeah. So
Which
you can have a
one?
lot of, it depends. It could be Fluttershy. It could be Rapidash or whatever. I don't fucking know any of them.
As long as it's not Sweetie Belle.
Have you been on that I think it's character.ai. Have you been on that site? And you can just
there was
see.
a me on it.
Was there?
Yeah, but I think it got deleted.
It's just I just scroll through to see like what people are creating, and I'm like, you guys are horned out of your minds. Where it'll be like fucking
when they stop
Yeah, you
the
wanna talk?
sex
Do you want to
stuff.
talk to Dexter's mom from like Dexter's laboratory? And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's see. And they're like, but it's like Dexter's mom with a dump truck ass. And
You
that's
can
like
see
the
where it
title
fucked them
That's
up.
the title of the character. And I'm like, yeah, let's talk to Dexter's mom with a dump truck ass. I'm into it.
Like, I don't want sandy cheeks pornography.
That's a little.
all right.
Dexter's mom, I get it. I'm like, all right, that's a good looking lady. But yeah, sandy cheeks. I don't want to fuck the squirrel. Not anytime soon. I did
They're asking for it. Like all the gooning don't goon shit. They're
No.
asking Christians
People will be gooning
say,
to Jesus very soon.
Put it on. Put this on the list.
Yeah.
You got to incorporate this stuff. You know,
Well, we'll see what happens. And maybe they should make a Hanukkah monster.
like Magic the Gathering.
I
they
think
get
the
it.
Jews, though, here's the thing, is that the Jews get all their creativity out. That's why they built Hollywood, is they're like, we'll just make, like, our own characters over here.
Yeah.
And the Christians are like, there's a Santa guy and a...
Maybe Doug TenNapel can go. Because Earthworm Jim's like a lot like Santa. If you think about
I think
it.
we need, honestly, it's been a while since we had a new, like, addition to the Christian canon of characters. That's another
Yeah.
thing about Christianity is I'm like, you guys have all these legacy
Stagnated.
characters. They added, like, Elf on the Shelf, but that's not even really a character. They're always trying to make new Christmas characters.
the Elf on the Shelf's catching on.
Elf
they
on
can
the Shelf?
incorporate that in.
Did you see the animatronic Buddy the Elf?
No.
Okay, real quick, you have to see this. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
I saw this at Home Depot, and I said, are you trying to traumatize children? The second this came off the factory line, you should have said, nope, this is not going to anyone's house.
Oh no.
Okay, this is
what
the-
the hell?
This is the official one, and it still looks horrifying. Dude, the one I saw,
What
his
the
face was...
Oh, salad nutcracker.
One of the
Buddy
window
the Elf
captures.
from Home Depot. This is a Christmas prop.
Wait. All right.
Dude, I saw one at the Home Depot and the face was like ripping off. And one of the voice claps is literally him like screaming about Santa Claus, but it just comes out of the thing as Santa! And I'm like, this is horrifying. This is like no kid if you put this with a kid, he's gonna have a horrible time.
Okay. There we go.
This is one of the great blunders, I think, of Christmas animatronics.
All right.
Buddy the Elf. Hey, you can click that little button that we added, remember?
You know what? I was looking for that, but I couldn't find it
well,
yesterday.
now there's a
Where
button.
is it?
It's the little box looking thing.
This?
Next one. I think that will do it.
No.
No, maybe not.
It disappeared. I was trying to do it the
Yeah,
other day,
sorry,
but then it vanished.
usually there's like a button for it or something.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, salad nutcracker.
What's wrong with its fucking eyes, dude? Skip ahead to when he unboxes the thing.
Buddy the Elf from Fist like he's gonna punch somebody. Base.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
What's your name?
Securing that
Everyone
snap
stay there.
lock right there
It's horrifying.
and connecting this up.
Dude, the speaker is bad too, so he just
Time is
sounds
it.
like a
All of
monster.
this.
He sounds like the
And now
the
spinning
clown
it
in
around
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
for the demo.
Here we go. How did you fuck up the eyes that bad?
Why don't you just say it? I'm the worst toy maker in the world. I'm a cotton-headed ninny-muggins. Hey! What's your name? My name's Buddy. I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite. Oh my God! See him here? I know him. I'm not messing with you. It's just nice to meet another human who shares my affinity for elf culture. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Has Will Ferrell
Like
reacted to
singing.
this?
Yeah,
yet?
there's
Oh, he did?
a him react to it, and he's like,
Singing.
I don't approve of this at all.
What song did I sing for you on your birthday this year? Thought maybe we can make gingerbread houses and eat cookie dough and go ice skating.
Okay.
Dude, he
amazing.
looks like a fucking demon. That's a Halloween prop. That is not for Christmas. Anyway,
Well,
Buddy
there you
Elf's
go.
a good addition to the
Yeah.
Christmas canon. Rudolph is an addition to the Christmas canon.
There you go.
We need more of that.
We need computer shit.
Look,
America, you know.
it's too many legacy characters.
No. We need more.
Tim
That's not a
Allen tried
problem.
to put himself in there, and didn't really catch on.
Okay, so what are
Our problems were family conversions or whatever, dad's religious crisis.
the extended Jesus universe, people who
Yes.
don't say Christ is king, the greatest story ever told? What is that problem?
Just the idea that anyone would say that about the Jesus
Okay,
story.
the idea that anyone
Just put the greatest story ever told in quotation
is,
marks.
Okay. The greatest story ever told.
It's the
Quotes.
phrase, the greatest
Jesus
story.
died at 33. All right, I think I got
We
just
got
about
him.
everything.
We got him.
Okay, go to biggestproblem.show to vote on the problems. Patreon.com/
Biggest problem. Guys, don't forget Hackamania tickets are available. I have to remind you to use promo code BIGGEST. We will be in Vegas May 8th through the 11th. Going to be a lot of fun. And I'm trying to go down a day early so I can go to that lobster buffet.
Yeah, and tell your friends about the show, for God's sake.
Tell your show.
Get
Are we
somebody
at
to-
20,000? We were like 50 people away from hitting 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, get your friends to subscribe.
Tell them just
the show.
subscribe, and you don't even have to listen to the show.
Okay.
When Vito was talking about not wearing socks, it just reminded me that all of my most disgusting, foul friends also don't wear socks. They
Okay,
have seams
well.
everywhere. And wherever they put their shoes, it's like a bomb that sets
What's
off
a
a bunch
bomb?
of stink in their entire house and makes it impossible to want to go and hang out with them.
That smells good.
So, on top of being
I got
a
good smelling
completely messy
feet.
place, I'm pretty sure Vito's house probably smells like feet.
I'm going to throw up about you
My
smelling
house
your
smells like
fucking-
cat food. I can tell you that.
Okay. Let's see here.
Hey, biggest problem is Beach Took. Dick, never let another mom on an episode with Vito, especially not if he's going to be talking about pooping out of your belly button and spraying milk on the wall. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
If I was lactating, I would try to see how far I could shoot it. And I think every guy would do the same.
If you were lactating out your tits?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know if everyone
You
got to
have
try to do
never
that.
been outside in the woods peeing.
But you don't really have a control over your lactating tits, Vito.
I won't know, which is why I'm
I
going
know.
to have to give it a try.
Science knows this.
What? Well, okay, but maybe
It
I
just
would.
kind of happens. No, you don't. You can't, do it. I guess you could squeeze them.
Guys,
I don't think it works like that either.
My whole life, I've been trying to pee as far as I can. I've been trying to come as far as I can. I would obviously try to shoot milk as far as I can. Spit.
This is why he's talking
spit
about.
as far as
This
you
is
can.
why he says don't talk about it anymore. It's
well,
gross.
I'm sorry.
Hey, J.K. Vito, fucking losing it over the consent condom that Vito
Thank you.
came up with.
Yeah.
When I went to college, I've only had long-term relationships before, not really long-term,
Ooh
because
la
high school
la.
bullshit, whatever. But those relationships, I never really stressed out about the consent thing. The second I went to college, the first chick I slept with, I made her fucking sign the consent
Really?
form because I was so paranoid about getting sued, getting kicked out of college, and everything, because they did that big fucking scare tactic, and I was a fucking idiot.
Yo,
You think a piece of paper is going to
That's
help?
not how the actual real
it's
world
better than
works.
nothing.
And
No,
was
it's
absolutely
weird.
fucking flabbergasted over how fucking funny the whole situation was. Then got some fucking people and then stopped caring about it at all. But the fucking consent form, fucking blast from the past from college, bro.
I could have made money. I
Thanks,
could have
guys,
made
for the
money.
fucking good podcast. Take care.
There was going to be some college that went yeah, we need 100,000. That's the thing about colleges. They don't just buy one. They'll buy 100,000 of them
God.
because it's all government money.
Yeah.
Just given to them for title. All I had to say was, You won't have to worry about Title IX if you have these.
Title IX.
Fuck.
Oh
well.
Okay.
I just watched that video on Trump's Instagram about the Nazi U-boats in Greenland, and you know, it mentioned that Greenland is really under a lot of threat from Chinese and Russian forces.
Absolutely.
And I agree. Trump's right. Greenland is in a position where it could be easily invaded and taken over by China and Russia. We have to do everything in our power to envelop and take over that area and keep it away from Axis powers. I think the biggest problem is Chinese and Russian interference. Honestly, we should have just said Israel wants Greenland, and then everyone would have been like,
Same
yeah,
thing.
of course, we got to do that. Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Fine.
That's why people come to the show, for the excellent political insight.
I thought you were being sarcastic. I was waiting for the joke.
Yeah, I was waiting for. I was like, at some point this will get funny, and then I'm like, oh wait, I think you actually think this is the problem.
It's true. It is true.
That, Milo Yiannopoulos' cat's name should be Poppers.
Poppers!
That was the funniest thing.
We gotta make an animated show out of
The
it.
entire episode. Past that, it's kind of sad because like she's like conservative or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can tell where her like her comedic prowess kind of ends.
Can
when you
everybody
start talking about
Kristen
Eric
Mayer was on the
July and
show
all that
like
other,
3 weeks
like,
ago,
those other
guys.
creators that she's kind of in the same space. She was like doing this like nervous like
It's funny though.
laugh.
It is funny.
Look, man.
Pretty good stuff.
It's
Invite
funny
her back
how,
on. Fuck it.
It's funny how clicks are.
We're a male-focused show. She's obviously a lady comic. Okay.
That's not what he's saying though.
He's saying where her comedy begins and ends.
Yeah, he's talking about
I think-
nervously laughing about peers.
Yeah, well, every time that we brought up Yellow Flash or whatever, she's like, oh, I don't know, I haven't talked to that guy.
It's funny.
I think we need an animated series, Poppers, Milo Yiannopoulos' cat. It's Poppers!
And then it's just him getting hit
it's
by a
just
car.
him being a normal cat as Milo screams at his trans girlfriend about how they're out of fucking heroin or whatever. And the cat wanders outside and gets ripped apart by coyotes.
Yeah.
And it cuts
Or
back
hit
to the
by
title
a
screen.
car.
It's Poppers! Yeah.
Or eaten by a homeless person. Every episode
Every
is
episode
like
is just Milo neglecting his cat.
some
while he
Santeria
has
lady sewing
wild,
the cat's eyes
drug-fueled
shut.
trans sex. It's Poppers, the crazy cat.
Okay, one more.
One more.
Hey there, Dick. Big EO. This is Podcast Prophet. Holy Spirit is speaking through me again. I'll tell you what, biggest problem in the universe / something that pisses me off.
Okay.
Loose lipped cashiers. George Carlin was right. There's this one annoying
George Carlin
fucking
ever.
I guess she's terminally going to be a fucking cashier. She's gotten fired from 3 different convenience stores in my town already. Now she works at the Tops, and I think they made her a fucking shift lead, which is goddamn mind-boggling.
Absurd. Absurdity.
She just never shuts the fuck up. I remember one time when she was working at the DG, I go up with my stuff, and she's standing there singing fucking Hello Kitty songs or something like that. Or Hannah Montana, I think it was. Anyway, she's just
Hello Kitty
absolutely the
or
fucking
Hannah
most
Montana.
annoying fucking person I've ever met. She's not even attractive. I remember a few months back, I came into the store.
Obviously,
and saw her,
she's not
I was like,
attractive.
for
She's working
fuck's
at the
sake.
fucking...
I would rather use a guy. I hate using self-checkout, but I'll use self-checkout if she's ever in the line. And real quick, she was just chewing the ear off of one of the girls that was, doing the cashing out for me one night. And the girl walks away because she has to go to manage the self-checkout.
His problem is other
and
people talking.
I could see it in the girl's eyes, and I looked at her and I go, she doesn't shut the
about
fuck
that?
up, does she? And she goes, no, all she does is talk. I don't know what the hell she does ever. I'm like, yeah, that's why she doesn't work at fucking 3 other fucking places. Anyways, thank you, fuck you, bye.
You know what I've noticed?
Women talking.
Here's what I've noticed.
What?
And this you can take this out.
Take this to the bank.
Spread it. You know, this is
Yeah.
what Jesus would be talking about if he lived at 45. People who talk too much, they all have phrases to continue their talking.
Yeah.
Like, real quick.
Yep.
This will just take a minute.
Yep.
Make a long story short. Like, they all, if they ever say...
They won't let you escape a conversation.
Real quick, if I could just... It's these strings of phrases.
It's these things because they know that if they just end a sentence, you could go, that's a great story. You know, I got to get out of here.
Hey, real quick.
I did have to tell you. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, but just one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
People who don't talk too much never say those things.
I've made it a very what do you call it?
Concerted effort.
I've made a very concerted effort to abruptly end conversations.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll be on the phone with somebody, and if they're just, like, going on or whatever, I'll just go, all right, I got to go do something. See ya. And also with them, when I could tell, like, I'm going on too long, I go, all right, I'll let you go. I'll call you later. And they go, oh, okay, cool. Like, I think you need to self-aware, constantly be like, I need, if you're not constantly thinking about, is it time for me to end this conversation?
Yeah.
You're a bad conversationalist. You should always be like,
real quick, if I could just, like a gunslinger.
If the phrase "I'm going on too long" has never come out of your mouth, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Because I say that all the time. I go, I'm getting a little long-winded here. Why don't I wrap it up? Because I will talk. I tried to call you yesterday for some reason.
No, you always call. The problem is you always call after she gets home.
Yeah.
And then it's like bed. Like I just can't talk when she's
I get it. You don't want to shoot. Yeah. She's probably, if you got
and
somebody
my
at
throat
home.
hurts. It's all fucked up. I don't know why.
I've also, I think it's the weather. Like at night it's cold and during the day it's hot. Yeah, my throat's been fucked up too.
It's been fucked up. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Great
Thanks
show.
for supporting the show.
We'll make time for that extra live thing soon. Check out Hackamania. I was gonna say, Josh Denny's doing a comedy show. I will be there.
Are you gonna open up for them?
No, I'm just gonna be there hanging out. I'm not gonna be on the show.
I'm not going. My doctor said if I see any more Gavin McInnes stand up, I might get cancer.
I assumed you would not go because Gavin McInnes is gonna be there. I have said that it is interesting that this is the first time that for some reason people in Torrance have noticed. But I guess that bar is not gonna be that bar anymore, so we're fucked anyway. I guess it got bought out and it's changing its name after this show.
Let's start a bar. Let's take all of our money, our stock market money, and open a bar.
So, according to the internet, I will be at a Proud Boys neo-Nazi rally at the end in Torrance, California. I should go as Hitler.
Just dress as Hitler.
That would be cool because there's probably going to be somebody to take pictures there, and I want them to be like, "Oh, I knew it was a Nazi thing," and I can go, "There you go. You got what you wanted. You get to feel justified in your hatred." Hey, hi, ho,
hi, how you doing?
You doing? How's the beer tonight? So yeah, I will be at the end in Torrance. I believe it's the night. I don't know the actual date, but look it up.